All right, here's my skit about the whole Dilbert situation. The guy that created the comics and then what he said recently. Dog, I don't like white people. I don't like white people at all. I hate them too, and I'm white. Oh, I'm just gonna head over this way. What's the problem, dog? You don't like being around black people or what? No, I just heard you said you didn't like white people, so I was just gonna shimmy, shake, and skedaddle this way. No, Devon, hold on. I can taste the racism. He's racist. I'm not racist. Wait, hold up. Ain't you that Dilbert guy? Yeah. Cancel culture! Oh, sorry. I came as fast as I could in my Maserati. What's the problem? This guy needs to be canceled because he doesn't want to be around black people. Yeah, and I also heard he doesn't want to live in the inner city either. Wait, no, that doesn't have anything to do with not being around black people. I just don't want to live in the hood. Ah, disgusting. You're canceled. Wait, where do you live? This isn't about me. No, but let's make it about you. You're trying to cancel me because I don't want to live in the hood, but you don't live in the hood. The cancel machine has already started. We can't turn back. Sorry. What the is going on here?
And then I'm a big believer in affinity space and affinity work. And I think people of color need to get away from white people and have some community with each other. I think people of color need to get away from white people. I think people of color need to get away from white people.
What's good? I go by Osiris. Thanks for finding the channel. I am not afraid of controversial figures. I think very often people who are controversial are the ones who are moving the needle. And I don't co-sign on everything that they do, but Dr. Carlin Borisenko is excellent. And she made me aware of this. Guess who's back? Robin DiAngelo.
If you're wondering why white leftists are so weird and racist right now, they listen to people like this.
If you pay attention, you'll notice patterns. And those patterns are that white people tend to speak first, speak most, do the intellectual work, and then people of color do the emotional work, right? And so if I'm noticing that, right, I'm noticing that people of color are really taking risks and being vulnerable and showing themselves, and white people are going into their, philosophical and society and, those distancing moves we make. This might be a good time for me to step in and meet the people of color halfway.
Please don't listen to this lady who gets $30,000 to speak at universities. We don't need to be pandered to. We don't need to be treated with kid gloves. This just...
I haven't seen her in a minute. I was wondering the other day, what happened to her? The racist Robin DiAngelo is back. Give credit to Actively Unwoke, which is run by Dr. Carlin Borisenko. I don't know how she finds time to do all this stuff. She's streaming and writing and impressive. But I found this very interesting. So Robin DiAngelo, if you don't know, is this famous anti-racist racist. The Nicole Hannah-Jones type, the critical race theory, Kimberly Crenshaw, Ibram X. Kendi type of talker. And she'll say stuff like, all white people are inherently racist and all that kind of stuff. But this is the quote that got me here. Remember that Scott Adams got all that heat about saying, hey, certain people say this about white people. I just want to stay away from them. Here's Robin DiAngelo.
And then I'm a big believer in affinity space and affinity work. And I think people of color need to get away from white people and have some community with each other.
Yeah, it's funny when it just shows you it's literally all about control. If this wasn't about control, if Scott Adams said, all you critical race theory people, I want to get away from you. If they weren't about control, they would speak out and say, Scott Adams, we're good.
I think people of color need to get away from white people.
That's exactly what we want because they say it. And look at the expression of these two at the top look like women of color. This one looks like one of, obviously this anti-racist white person. Here we go again. And they find it funny and they smile.
And then I'm a big believer in affinity space and affinity work. And I think people of color need to get away from white people and have some community with each other.
I don't label myself a conservative. I might be a conservative on specific topics, but I don't know why. I say I'm a nationalist, I'm a populist, I'm a constitutionalist. I'm very friendly with the libertarian ideas, but I'd never say I'm a conservative because I don't know, I can't wrap my head around that. But If you consider yourself a black conservative, and when she uses this, when they talk about black conservatives, all they really mean is they would say Michael Malice is a conservative. All they really mean is anyone who doesn't agree with us. What do they think of you black conservatives?
The question is, do you find that in some progressive institutions, politically conservative people of color are sought out by white progressives, resembling historically the way many black overseers on plantations were rewarded by their slave masters for exacting cruelty on the enslaved?
Yes.
Yes.
Unfortunately. I don't think they're the norm. I think they're somewhat the exception, but they absolutely exist. Kirk Thomas, excuse me, I had something in my throat again.
Wow. They are, the arrogance is just, it's just dripping. I mean, when you talk about people on the right, when they talk about, or the non-left, when they talk about these type of people, very often it's very, there's always qualifications. I don't mean to hurt anybody's feelings. She's just came straight out and said it. She's calling Clarence Thomas, she's comparing him to a slave overseer, basically a slave that oversees other slaves. And she doesn't even have the decency to just say it, try to be funny with, Clarence, my throat hurts.
I don't think they're the norm. I think they're somewhat the exception, but they...
You're not the norm. They're talking about black people who are not into the left, whatever ideology they're into. You're not the norm. That's actually incorrect, that, in my opinion. How do you prove that? I don't think that's true at all. We're talking about radicals. I'm myself a radical in that I'm paying attention to this stuff very closely. They are radicals. Most people are not in that realm.
Absolutely.
And black Americans are historically actually conservative in many avenues, from religion to marriage to all those type of things. This is a way to break that up.
Exist. Kirk Thomas, excuse me, I had something in my throat again. And white people do love to elevate their voices.
See, I love when these blackity black. So you have Robin DiAngelo, who's a white woman, talking about Clarence Thomas, who's one of the most important black men, if you want to say that, in the history of our country. And these black women up here are laughing while a white woman, and I don't get this. I'm not getting into the race stuff. I'm saying that they are into the race stuff, but the white woman talks about the black guy, and they're all giggles because he doesn't agree with them with the ideology. You see the problem I'm having with these blackity blacks? Clarence Thomas, and look at their expression, laughing at the top.
They absolutely exist. Kirk Thomas, excuse me, I had something in my throat again. And white people do love to elevate their voices. So that's why I think affinity work for people of color is really, really critical, to see where they are colluding. And again, those are incredibly sensitive conversations. I don't think they are my business, but that's one place you can work on the ways that we all uphold these systems.
The last name DiAngelo is interesting. It's a variant of the Italian Angelo, DiAngelo, which means messenger. An angel is a spiritual being found in many religions whose role is to act as a messenger from God. And Robin doesn't do a very good job of that.
Do not compare me to none of these people that will tone down their message for money, please. Most of them go bow down to the mob to some degree. Yeah, being the villain is fun to me, and y'all know exactly what it is when it come to me. I don't water myself down cause I'm sucker free. Battle with my old thoughts keeping me company. People in my business like they part of my company. I know why they mad cause I'm black, wearing MAGA, plus I rap better and I'm smarter, yeah I'm that clever. Y'all use max effort just to be outdone by the bucket hat wearer, and I trap never, but I'm dope like the crackhead. Want me to fall off, but we still ain't there. Me against the world, but for them it still ain't fair. They see my bank account say Bryson, why a mill ain't there, but I'm looking for their soul and it still ain't.